Welcome to FilmRiot, the show that takes mystery out of the effects and techniques going to some of your favorite Hollywood films. I'm your host, Ryan Conley, and today we're taking a look at a few ways that you can give your footage a security camera type look like this. The first way that we're going to look at is this basic black and white type look. It's a very stereotypical type security POV, so I imagine it's what most of us are thinking right away. Before we jump into the post aspect though, the most important part of this is how you shoot it. Just having a camera on a tripod with a normal view that you would usually have with standard filmmaking will feel exactly like that. Make sure you are placing your camera at an angle that makes sense for a security camera. And for all of these shots, we used a GoPro camera to get that wide angle, low grade sort of look. And since the GoPro is so light, it was really easy to mount it anywhere. But mostly we just threw it up on a C-stand, set it high, and we're good. But if you don't have a GoPro, you can always just throw on your widest lens and then use optics compensation to distort your footage however you want, then scale up if needed. But now in After Effects, we're going to bring in our footage, throw on a vignette just to focus in the image a bit more, and then add posterize, which will give it a banding look, giving it a crappy camera feel. Then I'm going to add an adjustment layer above that and drop on Red Giant Universe Holomatrix 2. In here, we click choose a preset, and you get this great menu that shows you examples of looks that you can get. For this one, we chose, not surprisingly, security camera, which does most of the work for us. But as you can see, it's a bit too harsh at first, so we're going to change effect scale to 50%, change frame rate to 8, make sure colorization is ticked. Under color brightness settings, change the highlight colors to white and midtones to gray and leave shadows at black. Under static settings, change the static size to 1 and the static opacity to your liking. You can go heavy for a really dirty image or lighter like we did here. Next, we're going to add in a Gaussian blur, which we will set to around 7. And finally, an instance of curves so we can push in some contrast. Again, this one is to preference. And there you have it. If you'd rather this effect in color, just uncheck colorization, and there you go. To add all that info on the screen, we just added text for everything but the timecode. For that, we added a black solid and threw in a plugin that comes with After Effects called Numbers. We set the format to timecode 24, adjusted the value offset and size, then pre-comped that with the text that we made and placed that pre-comp under our adjustment layer. Then to degrade that text a bit, we added a Gaussian blur set to around 4 and a directional blur with a 90-degree angle and set to around 5 length. And we're done. Next up, we have this look, which we used for a sponsor time a few months ago, and it's basically the exact same thing as we just did with a few small tweaks to our holomatrix settings. Like switching frame rate to 12 instead of 8, and inside colorization, we will set the highlights to light green, the midtones to darker green, and again, keep the shadows to black. Then we'll click to set traveling distortion on, but the rest is the same, and we have a totally different look. In fact, if we jump back into holomatrix and swap over to something else like dots high res, we can again have a totally different look. So there are a lot of options that you can toy around with to get a more dialed in look to what you need for your scene. Now, if you don't have the Red Giant assets or After Effects, you could still get a solid security camera look. We're going to do this in After Effects still, but all the plugins are basically going to be the type you can get in pretty much any software. So to start us out, again, we're going to have the shot that's in the best position to help sell the idea. Then we'll add posterized time to alter our frame rate to 12. You can just conform your footage in your editor if you don't have a similar plugin. Then we're going to sharpen the footage a ton and then add posterize, take that up to something that works for me, then add some grain and then a Gaussian blur after that to blur and soften those two effects. Next, I'll add hue saturation to desaturate the image, giving us black and white. Then finally, I'll add curves to bring that contrast to where I want it. This is supposed to be a crappy camera, so we want to make that contrast crunchy so it takes away that dynamic range. And that's basically it. You can play around with the intensity of all the effects to push the image less or more. Basically, we're just degrading the image to the place that we want it. You can also tint the footage green or blue if that's what you fancy, but as is, we have a gas station security cam look going. Next, we're going to get into more stylized effects with thermal camera and X-ray camera, but first, There's nothing more discouraging than having a pile of overdue paperwork just sitting there staring at you while you try to work or do anything you enjoy at all. Well, our friends at FreshBooks have just launched the all-new version of their cloud accounting software that will give you more time to do the work you love and not feel discouraged by the paperwork demon. FreshBooks has been redesigned from the ground up and custom built for the way that you work. It's the easiest way to be more productive, organized, and most importantly, get paid quickly. The all-new FreshBooks is not only ridiculously easy to use, it's also packed full of powerful features. You can create and send professional-looking invoices in less than 30 seconds, set up online payments with just a couple of clicks, and get paid up to 4 days faster. See when your client has seen your invoice and put an end to the guessing games. And right now, FreshBooks is offering a 30-day unrestricted free trial to FilmRioters. To claim it, just go to freshbooks.com/FilmRiot, enter FilmRiot in the How Did You Hear About Us section.
Logo.
Next up is this, a thermal cam sort of look. Again, we're gonna add an adjustment layer to the top of our footage, then add holomatrix to that. For this, we set our frame rate to 12 and then made sure that these settings were checked and set. Scan line at 3, 6, and 3, static at 1 and 10%, and color separation checked. Everything else off. Next, we're gonna add Gaussian blur and set that to around 5, then add another adjustment layer that will sit below our text layer, and we're gonna drop on Colorama. At the very top, set the color to pure white with an orange flag on its left and a yellow flag on its right, placing them very close to the pure white flag. At the 3 o'clock position, add a magenta flag with 2 pure red flags on either side that are also very close to it. Then add a pure blue flag and drag it as close as possible to the first orange flag. And to tie it all together, add some contrast again. And there you have a thermal cam. How the scene is lit will definitely dictate how well this works, so do a lot of tests to get the best shot possible for this effect. And finally, my favorite, the X-ray look. First up, we're gonna invert our footage, then add black and white with red set to -30 and yellow set to 0. After that, add photo filter, and in the drop-down, select cyan with the density to about 70%. Then throw on brightness and contrast with the contrast set to 93. Now we're gonna duplicate this layer, delete the brightness and contrast effect, then add a camera lens blur and set that to about 5. Then, like the others, we add curves to bring in some more contrast, and then we change this layer's mode to soft light, and there you have it, X-ray. But that is the basic idea. Above everything, you can also add holomatrix again to give it a little bit more of that digital compressed feel, but that isn't mandatory.
Logo.
And that's it. As always, if you have any questions, you can hit me up on Twitter right here. And if you bought something during our Black Friday and Cyber Monday sale and are trying to contact our customer service, we are answering emails just as quickly as we can. There was a massive influx, so we're a bit behind, but we're absolutely going to be getting back to you as soon as we possibly can. And I'll see you guys next week when I disarm a bomb using a stirring straw.